The economy of North Korea has long been a subject of international interest and scrutiny. As a communist country, the North Korean government controls most aspects of the economy, including trade, production, and distribution. However, the country's economic policies have failed to generate significant growth, resulting in a stagnant economy that struggles to meet the basic needs of its citizens. North Korea's economy relies heavily on its mineral resources, particularly coal and iron ore. These minerals are exported to other countries, generating much-needed foreign currency for the regime. However, the government's focus on the mining sector has come at the expense of other industries, such as agriculture and manufacturing, which have languished due to underinvestment and poor management. The lack of investment in these sectors has had a severe impact on the country's food security. North Korea has experienced chronic food shortages for decades, with millions of its citizens suffering from malnutrition and hunger. The government has attempted to address the issue through various policies, such as promoting urban agriculture and distributing food aid from international organizations. However, these efforts have not been sufficient to address the underlying problems of low productivity and poor infrastructure. The government's policies also restrict foreign investment and trade, which has further hampered economic growth. North Korea has few trading partners, and its trade is heavily reliant on China, which accounts for over 90% of its total trade. This dependence on China has left the North Korean economy vulnerable to fluctuations in the Chinese economy and political relations between the two countries. The country's economic struggles have been compounded by international sanctions, which have been imposed in response to its nuclear weapons program. These sanctions have severely restricted North Korea's ability to trade with other countries and access foreign currency. While the government has attempted to circumvent these sanctions through illicit activities such as arms smuggling and cybercrime, these efforts have not been sufficient to offset the impact of the sanctions on the economy. Despite these challenges, the North Korean government has remained committed to its socialist economic model and has shown little interest in reform. However, there have been some signs of change in recent years, particularly in the area of agriculture. The government has allowed some farmers to sell their produce at local markets, and there have been reports of a growing private sector in the country. However, these developments have been limited, and it remains to be seen whether they will lead to broader economic reforms. In conclusion, the North Korean economy remains a significant challenge for the country's government and its citizens. The country's heavy reliance on mineral exports and limited trade partners, coupled with its restrictive economic policies, has resulted in a stagnant economy that struggles to meet the basic needs of its citizens. While there have been some signs of change in recent years, significant reforms will be necessary to address the underlying issues that have plagued the economy for decades.